Hi, this is Miss Litton, and this is 7th period support for chapter 34. Say hello. Hello. These are excellent biologists. I try to help you, I try to break down like the key points in this chapter. So I made a little list. Here is that little list of big ticket items. Okay? You could just take a picture of it and put it right, boom, shakalaka. Right? Now, you could also have one person of your team, I would suggest like type it up and then just put it in there so you can respond underneath it. Or you could make a little table. Or another very great idea to do would be you could go into your calendar and just copy all the objectives, right, from your calendar that relate to this chapter, and you could paste that into your review. Because that is the more detailed approach of all the things and my expectations for you. Right? This is just a summary. Now, what's not on this summary this should be number 5. That's going to bother me, but I'm going to try to let it go. I probably won't be able to. What should also be on here that I don't have on here that you know is going to be on your quiz? The additional objectives. Yeah, the part in the italics. So don't forget about that, right? And maybe you have typed them into your group shared notes. I don't know. Okay? So this is just a big old summary of several boxes of notes that we did. So the details of that, like I said, would be in your calendar. But it's all those biotic components. I just stuck one picture in here. And if you look at this, we know that in an ecosystem, quickly, let's do this. Do it with me. Atoms, molecules, organelles. Oh, I haven't taught you this. Oh, my AP students know it. I totally forgot. Never mind. Start right here. I'm so bad. It's all like brain melt. We talked about populations, and when you have several populations, you have communities, and then you have ecosystems and biospheres. I'm going to teach you the other bar later. Okay? So when we look in this ecosystem, when we look at abiotic factors, these are things that are not what? Living. Not living. Okay? So we focused here on biotic factors, and if we look at this bottom section right here, okay, through this chapter, we spent a lot of time talking about how nutrients, cycle and energy flows. And when we said how nutrients cycle, who picks up the nutrients first? Producers, right? And then what? Primary consumers, secondary consumers. Who breaks them all back down? Decomposers, right? So that's when we're talking about nutrient cycle. And then we learned about important cycles, biogeochemical cycles, right? We learned, what are some of the cycles we learned about? Carbon, phosphorus, nitrogen, and water. So those are biogeochemical cycles, right? And then we talked about kind of the details of how it passes through when we talked about primary, secondary, tertiary consumers, etc. So let's take a look at this. Biotic components in an ecosystem. So if we were going to draw this, which I'm sure it will be awesome, where would it start? Producers. So here I have some producers. Okay? Now, these producers are probably growing somewhere in some what? Soil. What could be in here in this soil that maybe I wouldn't always see, but they are there? Bacteria. Yeah, bacteria and worms. And there could be mushrooms in here as well. Yes? Yeah. Okay. Now, who's going to eat these producers? Okay, give me an herbivore. Rabbit. Okay, I'm on it with the rabbit.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Okay. Now, who is going to eat the rapid rabbit?
A snake.
Hawk or a snake?
Hawk.
Snake.
Sorry.
Yes, clearly.
It's a
Okay, perfect. And then who's flying by because I want to get Hawk. He's far away though. All right, excellent. Now, let's label here our creatures to make sure we understand everything. I need a color here. We'll use that color. Go, in there. Okay, these are called what? Producers. Give me another name. I like that. I like those. Trophic level 1. What else? Autotrophs.
And phototrophs.
Yeah, and these are specifically phototrophs. Because all energy ultimately comes from where?
The sun.
The sun. Okay, perfect. Now, when this energy goes, it's going to go, right, from the producer to, what did you call this? Primary, this means primary, okay? Primary consumer, herbivore, what else? Second trophic level. What else? Heterotroph. You could be drawing on your thing, right? You have stylus. Okay? And then this is going to go to this guy. What would he be called? Secondary consumer. What's another name for him? Third trophic level. What else? Carnivore. And what did you just tell me? Heterotroph. Am I missing anything? Okay. So the nutrients are going here and then nutrients are going here. Is this a food chain or a food web? Chain. What would I need to do to make this a food web?
Have like multiple.
It's a mouse. And he's also getting eaten by the snake. Okay? When I start adding in other organisms, right, then I can make a food web. Okay? You can stack the trophic levels on top of each other, yes? So and that is called the ecological pyramid. So the first trophic level would be all the what? All the producers. Now, to do this accurately, okay. To do this accurately, how big should my next level be?
10% of that.
10%. Oh, did I ever hit record?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I did. Okay, good. Okay, so, am I good? Okay, and what would that be? The second trophic level. Who would be found in here? Primary consumers. What's another name for them? Herbivores, right? Heterotrophs. Good. And then this would be the secondary consumers, the carnivores, right? Now, if I was going to make some assumptions about trophic levels, mass-wise, usually, right, the first trophic level is going to have greater mass than the second trophic level than the third trophic level. Do you agree with that? Yep. There are exceptions to the rule, like phytoplankton can support a large amount of zooplankton, so there are exceptions to the rule. Usually numbers are going to work, right? If you count up the individual producers, you will have more producers than you have zebras, and you'll have more zebras than you have lions, right? But there were exceptions to that rule as well when we looked at one single tree that holds millions of ants, right? So we said the best way to represent this is when you look at the what? What energy is in each level. So the first trophic level is going to have the most energy, then the next trophic level. And we can't get more than maybe 4 or 5 at most levels because there's not enough to get from the level below since you only take about 10%. You all right with all of that? Questions or concerns on that? Okay, I have some embedded questions I will ask you. Let's go back to our list. That's such a good picture. Biotic components, roles in an ecosystem, producers, consumers, we did that. Nutrient cycle and energy, what? Flows. We hit that. Food chains versus food webs, we did that. The only thing we didn't address, and we could do it here, is when you look at, let's see, something like that. I know, it's getting worse. What do you call it when you have a food web chain that starts with plants?
A grazing.
Grazing food chain. If it starts with detrital, dead detritus, pea poo kind of thing, then that's called a detrital food chain. Okay, so that's what I meant by types. Okay, we did that. Did we do trophic levels and pyramids? Yes. Okay, so now we're down to biogeochemical cycles, and then I will go through and do all the questions I have here, the practice questions. So let's hit a biogeochemical cycle. Why don't we start with a water cycle? Okay. What are some key words we need to know about the water cycle?
Condensation.
Condensation. What is that?
That's when water evaporates and
Right.
it condenses in the air.
Yes. Okay. So what else? What's another word you need to know about? Evaporation. What is transpiration?
That's when
Yeah. Transpiration is when you have plants and they have leaves and the water evaporates out of the leaves. That's transpiration. Okay? Give me another word. Precipitation. What's precipitation? Rain. Okay? Give me another word.
Evaporation.
Aquifers.
Yeah.
Okay? Aquifers. Underground water tables. What can happen if we pull too much water out of this aquifer?
They will
Sinkhole.
collapse.
Sinkhole. Good. What's another thing we do to the water? Pollute it. Perfect. I mean not, but yes. Okay? Good. Questions or concerns about that? Okay? What's the next cycle we want to talk about? Phosphorus. Okay? So phosphorus cycle, I need some brown. Okay? Here's some, what do you think I'm drawing right here? Poorly. Yes, rocks. Okay? And the phosphorus is in the rocks, and how does the phosphorus get out of the rocks?
Weathering and erosion.
Weathering and erosion. Good. Weathering and erosion. And then it could get into bodies of what? Water. And it's known as a what? It is a sedimentary cycle, but a limiting what? A limiting nutrient. Okay? Meaning it keeps producer growth in check because there isn't very much of it. But if, for instance, you have people that are dumping waste into the water, or you have cows okay, and then all of a sudden you have too much phosphorus in the water. This is over enrichment of the lake, and then that will cause what? An algal bloom. Okay, and you might think, yay, algal bloom, algae does photosynthesis, super cool. But you can't keep up all that algae, so all that algae is going to do what? It's all going to die. Okay, who works on the dead algae? Decomposers will work on this dead algae. Decomposers. And what process do decomposers do? Cellular respiration, which requires what? Oxygen. So they take all the oxygen out of the lake, so what happens to the fish? They die. Okay? So we don't like that. All right? What's our next cycle?
Nitrogen.
Okay? So the nitrogen cycle, the nitrogen cycle, where does it all start?
Air.
In the air. N2, which I heard, give me a percentage. 78% of all your air is N2. Okay? There are particular bacteria called nitrogen what? Fixing? Yeah, nitrogen fixing bacteria, and they will make it into ammonia or ammonia. Nitrogen fixing bacteria. Then there is a process called nitrification, where this NH3 is converted to nitrites, and then what?
Nitrates.
Nitrates. Excellent. Who can use these nitrates?
Plants.
Plants can use these. Okay? And then who else can use these? Animals. Okay? And then if the plants or the animals die, who works on them? Decomposers, and they bring it right back to ammonia. And then nitrifying bacteria can bring it to nitrite and nitrate. Are we okay with that? Yes.
Is nitrate connected to the ammonia nitrate, or is it separate?
This is one compound. The first thing you're going to make is nitrite, and then using the nitrite, you're going to make nitrate. And nitrifying bacteria do that. Okay? But there are other ways to get here to nitrate. What's another way to get to nitrate? Okay? And atmospheric fixation using what? Lightning. What is another way to get it?
Industrial.
Yep, industrial. Okay, we good on that? Now, there's still something missing. How do we get it back into the reservoir up top? What do we do there? Yes, denitrifying bacteria. Denitrifying bacteria. They will take the nitrate and put it back into the reservoir. Oh, this is terrible. Denitrifying bacteria. Okay, so if we were just going to analyze bacterial roles, you've got nitrogen-fixing bacteria who fix carbon into a solid NH3. Then you have nitrifying bacteria who do nitrification, and they convert the NH3 to nitrite and then nitrate. Then once it's at the nitrate spot, that's great, because once you, I didn't want to be that color. Once you're here, okay, and you're nitrate, then that can be used by plants, and then animals can eat the plants. When animals and plants die, decomposers brings it back to ammonia. It can just live right here in the biotic community, right here, okay, in the biotic community. To return it to the atmosphere, here's your third bacteria. Now, there's multiple bacteria right here, but they're just called nitrifying bacteria. And then you have denitrifying bacteria returning. How else do you get it? Atmospheric fixation, right? And industrial. Let's do it real quick together, our little song. And I think this song, if you search it on my YouTube channel, there's you can watch me actually doing this, okay? So I have it in there. Here we go. We're going to go grab the nitrogen, right? Nitrogen fixation by nitrogen fixing bacteria. Then nitrification, first nitrite, then nitrate on a tray, right? Who can we serve this up to? Plants, and then animals can eat the plants, then the plants and the animals die. Decomposers put it back into ammonium.
Dylan Shapiro.
Then how do we?
Office, Dylan Shapiro.
That was inappropriate
Now we
call.
gotta start all
No, we're okay. We're here at the nitrate. How do we return it? We do use denitrifying bacteria. So we return it to the atmosphere. What's another way to get it? Atmospheric fixation. And a third way is through industrial fixation. Perfect. Okay? Last cycle. You're talking. Okay? It's a bear. Clearly, I shouldn't have even had to tell you that. He got it caught. He got it caught in something, and it made it really skinny. He's sad about it. Don't draw attention to it. It embarrasses him. Okay, so we had things that will decrease CO2. What decreases CO2? Process, please. Photosynthesis. And then you have things that increase CO2. What is that? So he's exhaling, right? He's increasing the CO2. What else? Combustion. That looks bad. That was supposed to be a factory. What's the third one? And decomposition. Perfect. Oh, hey, yeah, no, I did that. Never mind. Okay, on these three, living things are going to do cellular respiration, so that's staying, right? And living things have to be decomposed, so that's staying. What's the only one we can actually control, probably? Combustion. Okay? Wanting to definitely decrease the amount of combustion we do, and also maintain the trees, right? Because if we maintain plants, then they're going to be able to do more what? Photosynthesis, right? So don't chop down the tree and kill the tree, okay? Don't keep the tree, oh. Okay. What's she going to do now? There we go. It's a dead tree, okay? Don't chop down the trees, because when you chop down the trees, they can't do what? Photosynthesis, right? And that's what they're doing. They're removing the CO2. Okay, good job. If you would like to do questions now, if you walked out that door, I have some questions embedded here for you. So log in as things that fly in the air. I'm going to pause you just for a second. I'll bring you back on in just a minute. Sorry, you missed the first question, which was,
What are humans?
what are humans? And what are we? Think about it. Think about it. And the answer is? Good job. Okay, here you go. All right, let's check your answer. Okay, most of you got that. Producers are autotrophs. One of you said carnivores. No. One of you said herbivores and autotrophs. Remember, you can't be a bunny and a plant simultaneously. Okay, so review that. All right, let's check another one. Go, 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 go. Remember how to make the picture bigger, right? There's a little box on it. I don't think I can do it on this screen, but there's a little box on it. Here's question number 2. Here's question number 3. Here's question number 4. Write down your answers, okay? If you're watching at home, commit to an answer so we can see if you're right or not. Everything on here is a consumer except the autotroph, the plant, which is the flower. All right, everything else is a consumer. Okay, let's look at question number 2. Most of you got that. Which organisms are herbivores? Herbivores are whoever eats the producer. In this case, I can't make it bigger in this picture. What was it? It was a cricket worm? Caterpillar. The caterpillar was an herbivore because it ate that. Okay? Oh yeah, it does show the answer. Sorry, I wasn't looking at them. I wrote the question even. Which organisms, did I go the right way, are producers? That would be the flower. Somebody is not smart. Well, that's a true statement. Okay. Okay. Number 4, which organism is, or they were careless. They're either not smart or careless. Which organism is at the 3rd trophic level? The 1st trophic level would be the plant. The 2nd trophic level would be the herbivore, which is the caterpillar. The 3rd trophic level is whoever eats the caterpillar. And who ate the caterpillar? The frog. Okay, the 4th trophic level would be the snake. And the 5th trophic level would be the owl. I hope you did a good job. You got 9 questions. 9 questions. I hope you've been noticing I've been clicking through the questions, so they're changing, so you should review them, make sure you can answer them. Commit to it on paper. I know you can do it. I'm going to Instagram you. All right, let's check your answers. Guys, listen to me. Allow everybody to hear as I go through each one of the answers, okay? So first one, which of the following is not a component? Photosynthesis. What is that a part of? Carbon cycle, okay? Number 2, which of the following is a sedimentary biogeochemical cycle? Phosphorus. The reservoir for phosphorus is what?
The ground.
The rocks. How do we get it out of it? Weathering. Good. You guys, I'm asking you additional questions in order to prepare you. Okay, so pay attention. Okay, number 3, the most abundant gas in the atmosphere is? How much of it? Okay. Number 4, nitrogen gas to ammonia. What is that called? Nitrogen fixation. Number 5, whoa. Nitrogen gas, and you're going right. Show me this in our dance. What's nitrate? This is nitrate, right? Or this is nitrate. How did we get to nitrate? Atmospheric fixation. You need to read this. This is gas all the way to nitrate. Okay, so you got to read that so you answer the question correctly. So that would be atmospheric fixation. Okay, not a problem. Okay, good enough. All right. Okay, nitrate to nitrogen gas. How does it get back up there? Denitrification. Okay. Number 7, nitrite make nitrite. You should, like, in your mind, act it out. Nitrite to nitrate. That is going to be nitrification. All right? And then 8, which of the following are involved in the carbon cycle? Cellular respiration? Yes. Does it increase or decrease CO2? Cellular respiration. Increase. Combustion. Decomposition. Photosynthesis. Okay. All right. And number 9, which of the following is true? Most CO2 in the air and water mixes with water to form bicarbonate. Did we say that in the notes? Yes. Eutrophication is over-enrichment of bodies of water. That is true. Fresh water only makes up 3% of the world's water, and most of that is what? Glaciers. And burning of fossil fuels contributes to photochemical smog. Yes. Okay? I love you. I want you to do a good job on your quiz tomorrow morning. Okay? That involves sleep, good eating, and don't forget your additional objectives. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Dun, dun.